Hey, if you're stumbling across this video and you haven't seen Nephilim Death Squad podcasters, check them out. Anyways, so in my testimony, I forgot to tell a bunch of supernatural stuff that was part of my testimony. I was practicing so much being a good listener that after he asked me a question and I had it in my mind to bring it up, whatever. That's okay. So I want to bring up whenever I went to my friend. So I moved a friend in after my kids had got taken. So I was living there by myself and me and my dogs. And anyways, a friend showed up with a friend and she needed a place to stay. Well, that friend became my friend. I gave her a place to stay and then we became best friends. Anyways, during this time period, I decided I'm going to go spend the night at her house, even though she moved. So like there was some situations going on to where a lot of, she would say her land was cursed, but I didn't believe in that stuff. But then I went and spent the night, and then I started to see that because I was coming out of the atheism, going to agnosticism. All right, so I was able to start seeing things that were meant to be part of this process and waking me up. So anyways, I was on the couch in her living room, and she had left and went down the road for something, and I had seen this clear silhouette. It's a shadow, but it's clear, no facial features, no nothing, bobbed haircut, which reminded me of the picture that she showed me when she was little. And then now I'm thinking, is it, fast forward with what I know, is it a familiar spirit or whatever? Anyways, and I pretended I did not see this figure. I just act like this is not happening, like this is not there. I'm not going to react. I'm not going to nothing. Okay, and then I believe I talked with her about it, but I don't remember that night. And she kept me from going back to the hospital because I was wanting to go back to the hospital because like I was going through literal hell in my skin and all this other stuff. And I had super glue, and I would always like buy gobs and gobs of super glue. And if I started feeling like this wicked stuff, like these fibers and all that, then I would super glue wherever this stuff was moving at, right? So I would even super glue my lips sometimes, dude. I was like, it was wicked. Anyways, super glue was my best friend then. And my friends just would watch me put super glue all over myself. It was normal. It was normal. And, so yeah, the next day, the demons had us, well, I wasn't fighting back, but she thought that I was against her and like coming at her, and I wasn't. She was getting offended at things and whatever. And I said, whatever they're trying to do around here, it's not going to work. And she's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? She just, whatever, under the influence of demons around us. So I decided to leave. I got paranoid to be back at my house. This is before my son passed away. So I decided I'm going to drive from North Carolina to Kentucky. And I had puppies, like my dog just had puppies and all kinds of stuff. And actually that might have not been that puppy stage yet. Anyways, I had dogs with me. I don't remember how many. And so on the way to my papa's, I turned on the radio, and then I heard like, if you're going through a little, your best friend and fighting, and it was like, okay. So I changed it because I was the kind of person that was like, oh, okay, it's just coincidence, right? So another station, and these were Christian stations, and it didn't register till afterwards, but like, if I heard worship music or Jesus or anything, you couldn't even get, it would be like, gee, and I was allergic, okay, so I couldn't stand that stuff. But because they were talking, it was a little bit different, but I still couldn't stand hearing the name of Jesus. And, but I kept it, so I changed the station again, and it was another Christian station talking about the same thing I was going through, and I started to see, okay,